All right, y'all. We alive,
We're
and
live.
I'm trying here, y'all. We're we've been having lots of technical difficulties, and then we're busy and everything else. And I actually reverted back to YouTube Studio, and I didn't even know how to do that. And so it was all new. So I just figured out in the last 5 minutes, and that's exciting. And but yeah, we wanted to jump on here real quick. Gotten tons of emails and text messages, and people have been wondering where we are and what's going on. So I figured the best way to kind of try to do this with the allocated time that we have or lack thereof, I figured we just do a live stream. And I know we haven't done a live stream in a very long time, and there's 1,000 reasons for that. And other than being debanked twice and the choke point 2.0 and all that stuff, our streaming software that we paid for an annual subscription to, that was
Okay, they don't hear all the sad story.
well,
Leonard,
iPadel,
so she's a.
Blue Diamond, on
They want
Blue
to hear all the
Diamond.
good news. Let's tell them the good news.
Yeah, there's tons of good news. Reason I fight the
Only YouTube is the bad news,
Yeah.
but the good news is
the good news. Well, we just got back from an 8-day cruise, which was, I mean,
amazing.
everybody said, how was the cruise? And I
It
said,
was-
well, it's like every cruise I've ever been on. It's fantastic.
It was wonderful.
It says we're breaking up a little bit, but everything looks to be good. So I'm trying, y'all. I try to produce quality here. But everything is, it says our stream is strong and everything. So I apologize if there's any kind of break in the audio.
So
but
should we
better now?
So should we back up and tell everybody what we've been doing?
Let's back up and tell everybody what we've been doing.
So in a recap of our life since
How far are we going back?
since August,
Oh,
since
boy.
the middle of August, our daughter broke her arm, elbow. She did it all right. She fell off her pony. And so we spent 3 days in the hospital at Children's Hospital back in the middle of August. And then that Monday, we received a letter in the mail from a family up north in the Midwest. And they had reached out to Matt and our family and introduced themselves. And so it was her father, and they have a beautiful family. And so they had a daughter who was the same age as Matt. They still do. And so do we. We share that in common now.
Well, we don't have a daughter the same age as Matt.
Well, yeah. So
I'll
anyway,
try not to mess with you too much.
Don't mess up my story. So anyway, so Grace broke her arm. We got a letter in the mail. Our world got flipped upside down. Matt and this young woman hit it off really, really well. So we talked to her parents, and then they talked to us, and then the adult children started talking back and forth, Matt and this young lady. And so they came down here and visited, and then we went up there and visited.
And what's really interesting,
we were doing that whole thing. And then the next thing you know, there was a wedding planned. And so
bada boom, bada bing.
And Matt will fill you in on all of the juicy details of all of that. But it was fast and furious, and it was amazing. And so their courtship and wedding was in less than 3 months time, and it was very far from Texas. So then we were traveling to go to the wedding, and then we all traveled back down here, and the cruise had already been planned since last year. So Matt ended up,
and the cruise was rescheduled 3 times because
Grace's arm.
Yeah.
And we thought
So,
there was going to be a second surgery, but
yeah.
God has been so good. So
Mm.
there was not a second surgery.
But
So
because it got rescheduled 3 times, it just so happened to coincide with the
perfectly
honeymoon,
with the weekend of the
as
honeymoon.
divine providence would have it.
So Matt will fill you in on all that too. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
Everything just went perfectly amazing. The Lord's hand was in all of it from beginning to end. And we have a beautiful new daughter in love. And Matt is ferociously working on building his house and working with his brothers in their construction business and doing some of our products that we sell online. The website got totally revamped. So the coffee is going to be all redone and is going to be available really, really, really soon here. And anyway, and they're also selling beef. So that,
Yeah, so I guess if you wanna mention that, we do have 1 whole beef for sale. You can buy it in whole, half, or quarters, and so go on over to
yeah,
thetexasboys.com, and you can put a deposit on that. That'll be ready as soon as next week.
yes. And we kind of need somebody to buy this
It's
cow
at the microprocessor.
because
It's been
you
processed,
crack
so
me up. It's just a family. It's
yeah, it's a
it's a
microprocessor. It's a
the
f yeah, it's a
microprocessor.
well, it's a microprocessor.
It's a
If
it's
you
just
saw
so
the
low key.
size of this plate, it is literally a microprocessor. I
Okay.
mean, it's his microprocessor.
It's
It's
just a
awesome.
little family
It's
owned
really
butcher
cool.
shop.
Yeah.
Anyway, all, vacuum sealed. You can
Yeah.
get the bones, the organs, all of the
All the
stuff,
goodness.
all the good things. It's all vacuum packed and
Local
it
pickup in
is
Mount Pleasant, Texas.
FDA. Is that what you
Yeah,
say?
all that
Yeah,
good
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all approved. It's all good. So anyway, if you bought beef from us before, then you know that. And it's grass fed, grain
And
finished.
I'd like to speak to the FDA because people get goofed and freaked out about that. Where we are, FDA means that an inspector is there when the animal's dispatched.
And they just lay eyeballs on
Yeah,
it, make
and
sure
that's
everything's
all
clean.
that it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
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 just
not yeah,
right.
it's
The the facility is inspected so that way it's all clean and the
yeah,
animal's inspected so it's done in a clean environment and done properly. That's all that
that's
means.
all that
Just
means.
somebody
So,
laid eyeballs on it. So anyway, if you're in the East Texas area, or if you would like to travel to the East Texas area and buy a half, a quarter, buy it per
or a
pound,
whole,
whatever you want to do, please reach out to us. Send us an email, Country Texas Boys, or go onto the website, TexasBoys.com, and you can reserve your portion of the cow there because we do not have room for it in our freezer.
in our magnitude of freezers.
We sent family, and
Yes,
then one was for one of y'all to enjoy, hopefully, for this end of the year season. And I know people are going to have family over and all that. So we're like, we'll just get an extra one done. But we haven't really been around to promote it. So
yes, and
hopefully
let people know. But
somebody needs to
now
buy
y'all know.
somebody needs
So,
to buy some beef. So
where's the beef?
let us know. And also, we've been selling it price per pound as well. We'll probably have a date lined up for that very, very soon in the next week or two. If you wanted to meet us in Mount
And
Pleasant,
yeah, we did that. That was so great. We
yeah,
got to meet, and we love and appreciate all of our per pound
yeah,
buyers. Just great families. Neat
hmm,
getting to interact and meet with them.
yeah,
And it's always awesome interacting with our peoples
yeah,
and our tribe.
yeah. So if you can't commit to a big portion of the cow, but you're interested in whatever you're interested
Yeah,
in,
we can make it happen.
all
We're
that
getting good at this, y'all.
all that info is on the website as well. So Matt is happily married. He's a happily married man now. And
Yes.
we have a lovely new daughter in love, and she is a blessing. She's everything we hoped and prayed for since Matt was born
Yep.
and more. And she's just
That's how God does. God always does it more,
she's amazing.
exceeding ab
She's amazing, and we are getting to just build a relationship with her and him together, and they are living in the tiny house now called The Cabin.
The Cabin.
And it's all renovated for couples, a couple, versus 3 boys. So so they are loving life in their little cabin while they part-time finish out their house. So anyway, more house videos are coming. They're already videoed, y'all. He has stacked piled up, but he
One we'll
just
post tomorrow morning because it's already done and uploaded.
yeah. So look for that video if you're following the house. The house videos are way behind real time. So, but we have them, they're videoed and they're ready to go for you. So if you're following along on Matt's house building, that's just really fun. And I know he's going to be getting on here whenever he can get himself together. We just had our first normal day yesterday. Was our first day back home.
Now is our first normal, whatever that means, day in since August, practically.
Yeah, truly. And then today was day 2. So we are still like, I'm still getting laundry washed and put away because we had wedding laundry and vacation laundry. It's just crazy. So, and then we had vehicle drama in the midst of all of this too. So that made even yesterday very interesting. And so it's been a wild ride, but hopefully Matt's a way better storyteller than us. And I'm going to not go into any details, like I said, because I know he'll want to tell the story better.
And if I can get through these tech gremlins, there'll be, I did a couple interviews and there was no audio. And it's just like, I'm trying, I'm sticking with it and boring through and we want to get proficient with the website so we can make that better and turn things around faster. But there's a lot of learning curves.
And now that we have one married, it's so much fun because I feel like this kind of opens up some more topics of discussion. There are things that, you know, you talk about in theory as parents and being conservative Christians, but then you don't really want to go into uncharted territory and you know, you don't really know what you're talking about. You don't really have experience. But now that we have, you know, one married successfully, I would say very, very successfully, this all went so, so well. Praise the Lord.
And I think one of the great topics, it was real interesting through this whole process. A friend at work said, "Oh, okay. So they're courting. How does that work?"
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that is a great question. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
But now we have some experience with it. I mean, it's kind of hard to answer all those questions. Like we could give you book knowledge, like, okay, well, you can read a book on courtship, but until it really happens, and it would be different, I think, depending on all different scenarios. So this is a long distance courtship and a very, very short courtship, which I think
that's the way they should be. I mean,
short was the way to go, y'all. Short was definitely the way to go.
If you are looking for and help and you find and help, then you should get married.
Yeah. And it was very purposeful. And I think the being long distance, they only saw each other twice before the wedding in person. So having that non-physical relationship and just being able to ask all the questions over the phone and have lots of video calls and just hours and hours of not having the chemistry so much, you know, physically between you, just I think it just really, really helped for them to just be able to feel really secure in the relationship and build that uh, quickly before the wedding too. So that was really good. They read lots of different books together. That was really cool to see. There was just lots of cool things that happened during those 3 months of courtship that it feels like it was yesterday, y'all. Like, it just went so fast. But, But yeah, it's the Lord is so good, and also the way that her dad reached out to Matt, that was really, really neat. I think that is a story in and of itself because a lot of times you hear about, families that have, adult children or children that are preparing for marriage, and yet there's nobody around that's a potential, and like, having that as an option, like, wow, the parent could reach out to another family that they see somewhere or like, that's really cool. I just think that's a really neat thing, um, and it just worked out. I mean,
One to just
it's amazing.
yeah, and it speaks to all that we've talked about, which everything you talk about in theory, it's a theory until it can be put into practice
Right.
or whatever. And it was very neat. We as society has been deconstructed, so to speak. We do feel separated and isolated in different things. And then as God provides and connects, we can see these, just like we talk about parallel systems and parallel society and community. And then you watch these things like it almost, you're working towards it, you're thinking about it, you're putting effort into it, and then it materializes, right? And it seems very fast and on a calendar and on paper fast, but it truly is a culmination of a life's worth of work and effort and actively acting, uh, thinking long term, acting long term, planning long term,
Mhm,
and then it appears to accelerate in real time, but it's actually after an inordinate amount of effort and thought and prayer,
right.
and why that's while God is working behind the scenes
Mhm.
doing everything that he does, and we're waiting
Yeah.
in faith, and then it seems to go so fast, but it's just a culmination of patience and waiting and actively preparing.
Mhm.
And I mean, how neat is it? Matt had planned to build this house, and did he, and yeah, and then pretty much almost as he was contacted, I don't did he start building the house before?
As soon as he started talking to her, he started building the house. Because he was like, "Okay, I found her. I'm building the house."
And,
Like, that was it.
yeah,
That was and then the way the Lord worked it out that he was able to, um, loan the money, and we were able to do that all and keep that all
well,
in-house, and
that's
that's
what's
a whole 'nother
yeah,
podcast.
that's a whole other thing, and that was only possible with prior planning,
Yeah.
preparation, funding, capitalization, and
That
all
was
of
just the
these.
Lord. I
Yeah,
mean, even
yeah.
giving us access to even
Thank you,
have
Chuck. I don't know if
something
Chuck's
like
listening.
that. So that's definitely a topic for another day because I know there's probably people out there that are like, he's 19 and she's 18 and they're building a house. Like, how? Like, how is that even a thing? And so that
Without
would,
a bank loan
yeah, without a bank loan. So that
and with
would
no
be,
credit.
that would be a really well, he does have some credit
Yeah.
because we got him a credit card, like a little
Mhm.
starter one when he turned 18. So, he's been about a year now using his credit card, just putting gas and stuff like that on it. But
But not to where you could get a $100,000 bank loan
no.
at less than
Yeah.
8%.
Yeah. So that's definitely if y'all are interested in that part of the story, even if your child isn't going to build their own house, maybe if they would want to do a tiny house or an investment property, if they would want to start in some type of investment property, anything like that, or they're just going to need money for their education, maybe they're going to get a trade or a vocation or whatever. There's
Or a
lots of
vehicle or any type of
any type
monetary
of
transaction,
future,
banking function.
um, yeah, investment. That is a really neat thing that we learned about, and that we learned from another large family that we had met a couple of years back, and, um, they taught us all, and we're like, wow, okay, that was like the puzzle piece that we were missing to kind of make all of this work for our children as they grow into adulthood. So it's really neat, and it's just a great blessing. And it's preparedness on both ends, on our end of raising and discipling and training Matt. The Lord definitely had his hand and his providence in Matt's life and salvation and all of that. Can't do that ourselves at all. Had no hand in that responsibility as parents, and then on her end, her responsibility in training her and discipling her, preparing her for marriage. And she was diligently praying for it. Matt was diligently praying for it. Her parents were praying that the Lord would um, have whoever she was going to marry to wait for her. And it's just amazing how all of that lined up. I mean, amazing.
And how
So,
they both had a lot of the same goals and principles, and
yeah.
they both come into the relationship debt free.
Yeah.
And they both come into the relationship with savings, and it's
It's
just a huge answer to prayer.
mhm.
And they're going to start their marriage, what, a light year ahead of us? Like what?
Way, way different position than what
Yeah.
we were in starting out. I mean, in every way,
Hmm.
financially, um, spiritually, they're way more mature than we were. So it's just a blessing and a heritage, and we just give the Lord all the praise for it
Yeah.
because um, it it's just a blessing, and it's a great testimony to all of the younger siblings on both sides too. And she had two older siblings that had gotten married the same similar ways. So she got to see purity and in marriage and pretty quick courtships and just all of that kind of stuff too. So she wanted to do it the right way too. They were both going into the courtship really wanting to glorify the Lord through it, and they knew, like, I think after the first conversation, it's what Matt told me, that he is like, I just know, like, 100%, like, she's the one, and he said, I feel like I've known her my whole entire life.
And maybe you'll get a picture. Somebody's asking for a picture,
Oh,
but we're gonna let Matt
yeah.
and his wife do all that, is whatever they want to do,
Yeah, we wanna respect their privacy, and I think they're trying to figure out
what they're
that
gonna do.
part of what
Sure.
they're gonna do with all of that because, obviously, it's the beginning of a new family, and, Lord willing, they will have a family, and the Lord will bless them with a family at some point in the future, and they're just trying to navigate all of that. Obviously, you can understand that with social media and everything like that, that they're trying to figure out how they wanna set up their family moving forward. So, um,
New frontiers,
new frontiers, so they're just trying to figure all of
new
that
legacy.
stuff
Yeah.
out, but yeah, they're excited. They had a wonderful honeymoon. I'm not gonna tell you all the details, but they had a wonderful honeymoon, and they had a blast. They had lots of fun. They did all kinds of crazy cool stuff. I mean, I guess that's the blessing of being kids, right? Is that, she's 18, he's 19, and I'm like, how fun. Like, they get to just do all of these crazy fun things, especially on the boat. They
Yeah.
got to do the surf machine and the
Rock
rock
climb. They
climbing
got to
and snorkeling,
snorkel.
and I mean, several times a day they were doing these things, the boogie board and just zip lines and slides and crazy stuff. And how fun, like, that they got. That's just especially only getting to see each other twice in person. I think it was really important that they had that time to just, like, spend time together and just bond and do fun things. They're young, so it's neat. They're going to get to grow up together.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so the boys are busy. They have construction jobs going on. That's still happening. The the honeymoon cabin is all set up, but they were hooking up like the washer and dryer today out there, and they got a refrigerator out there today. So getting used appliances and, and putting them out there, and just, I don't know how long they'll be there. They're not really in any big rush to finish the house like as fast as possible. They're just going to be doing work on the house in stages every week as they have down days. So
Yeah.
as they do that, you'll have those videos coming out, and yeah, it's going to be
In all their spare time.
yeah,
They're going to work on that. So
it's going to be great though. But they have access to them to
yep.
to do it, to finish it. So that's not gonna hold them back. It's just when they have time to, in between work, to
Yeah.
get out there and do that. So anyway, it's really neat. I can totally see like the family dynamics are um just really neat. Like it's just everything that we kind of had hoped for it to be. And just, we're only on day 2, but she blends in just fine with the rest of us, and she is very much a part of the family
Yeah.
already, and it's just a lot of fun. So, yeah, it's been great. The little ones are all excited, my little ones, about having a new big sister in love.
Yeah. That's wild the way all the littles just took to her and she took
Mhm.
to them.
Yeah.
And it's just it's all it's kind of surreal still, but it's just such a huge blessing
Mhm.
um when you just the unknown. And as parents you try to do your best and you leave the rest to God and you
Mhm.
wonder how it's all going to work out. And you wonder financially and all these different things. And even Matt, like, he started getting really worried. He's like, I gotta make money. And I'm like, son, you're debt free. You have a very low interest house loan
Mhm.
that's accessible, and you can spend, when they first calculated it, they said, "Oh, we think we can do it for 70,000." And I said, "Plan on spending at least 100,000." And that's with
Mhm.
them doing most of the work.
Mhm.
And that's probably where it'll end up, between 100 and 120 or something like that. And it's just such an incredible um opportunity, one, to be able to teach and train them, two, to have the ability to to loan them the money, and for that to keep that money in the family. And it's just it's really neat. And then to just um continue that process, and then to for the family to expand and to grow, and to have the new in-laws, which are super awesome people. And just that whole process,
Yeah.
it's kind of yeah, it's really incredible. I don't wanna just keep rambling on about it, but did you want to talk about the Carnivore cruise?
The Carnivore cruise. So this is our second Carnivore cruise. And so last year was our first one. We had been on Carnivore, Ketovore, I guess, maybe some days, for about 5 months last year when we went on our cruise. We've been trying to do some type of week of family vacation once a year. We try to do it at the end of the year. And so this is our time of year that we usually take the kids and go somewhere for a week. And the cruise is just easy because I don't have to clean, I don't have to cook, I don't have to do laundry. And everybody has a great time. All the activities are there and included.
Yeah, and
And
you get to rest and relax.
right, everybody gets to rest and relax. So it has just been a blessing to do that, and we always go on Royal Caribbean because it's not so much of a party boat, like Carnival, and, they do have a lot of things and
Uh,
activities for
yeah,
the kids.
and they do have the best food, and they have the best, service.
The service is hands down
Yes, they have the
amazing.
best
The
people
people are amazing.
and they have the best food,
Yes.
and
And the kids have a great time. They love it. It's always their pick of what to do for vacation, and they always wanna go on a cruise.
for
So
the cost of the housing,
mhm,
the travel, and the food,
mhm.
it is
Yeah.
so incredibly cheap.
And we don't have to fly. We can
Yeah,
just drive down to the port and
yeah.
get on the boat, so that cuts a lot
4
of
or
the
5 hour
cost.
drive to the port, we walk right on the
Right.
boat, we walk right off.
Yeah.
I mean, the
So
logistics, it's, like, perfect.
mhm.
Um, we absolutely love Cozumel,
Yeah.
and, I've been talking with all my Mexican brothers, and I am currently scoping out quasi beachfront property
Mhm.
in the region as probably like an investment property slash vacation rental kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so put the word on the street, for all me amigos. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was talking to 2 guys this morning.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. So, so this was our second Carnivore cruise. Now, that being said, I think last year we were a little more strict because we were about 5 months in on Carnivore. And so we felt like I felt like I didn't wanna jump off the boat to I'm the Carnivore boat, not like the literal cruise boat, but I don't wanna jump off that. But, I didn't wanna deep dive into, like, jumping off the wagon too much there because I was afraid I might not get back on the wagon. So, I did a couple things last year to kinda, like, moderate and help and keep us on pace, and I think we were a little more strict last year, even with the little kids. But we can talk about just breakfast, dinner, what it kind of looked like on a normal day. And I think the reality of it is that for some people can moderate, some people can enjoy things and choose to eat off and go back onto plan. And then other people, if you are one of these, are true carb addicts, and
Carb crackheads.
if you eat something off plan, you are gonna not be able to moderate,
Toast.
and you're done. You're just setting yourself up for disaster. So, so all of us fall differently on that spectrum in our family because there's 8 of us. So, I know Matt and his lovely wife, they've been doing carnivore, well, Matt's been doing carnivore since we've been doing it, but, he chooses to eat off plan a couple, different things. But anyway, as a whole, 95 to 99%, he does carnivore weekly on a weekly, daily basis, and so does she. But they said for their honeymoon, they were gonna go and they were gonna enjoy it, and they were not gonna worry about food. They were gonna eat what they wanted to eat when they wanted to eat it, and they were just not gonna think about it for the week. And they were able just to flip the switch and go straight back to carnivore yesterday as soon as we got home, and they've been hardcore doing great since. So that's been great for them. And then for our little people, well, I'll say for our in between people. So for James, James enjoyed himself on the boat. He pretended it was his honeymoon too,
Yes,
I
he
think,
did.
and he did not care about what he ate. He did for breakfast, he ate sausage or bacon and had his coffee, with the exception of maybe like a couple days he had like a croissant or something for breakfast. But other than that, for breakfast, he kind of stuck to carnivore, but the rest of the day, he ate what he wanted to eat and he just did not worry about it. And now he's right back on carnivore, right on the plan again. Buddy probably did a little less deep dive than James, but maybe just a degree or two less than James did. I'm not really sure. And then, so they basically ate what they wanted to eat, I think, to a certain degree. And
Yeah, normally I eat 1 meal a day and I do intermittent fast. I eat 1 meal a day, and then also weekly now I am integrating 24, 48, and 72-hour fast. Um, but on the cruise, I ate breakfast and I ate the exact same thing every time. I ate 4 poached eggs. One thing I learned from the previous cruise is that The omelets, I'm pretty positive, were, like, cooked in seed oils, whatever they were using on the grill when they made the omelet, I'm pretty sure it was a seed oil, cause it affected me, but I do know that they poach the eggs in water, so I got 4 poached eggs and 8 pieces of sausage, and that's what I had all 8 days. For breakfast, I didn't eat any lunch. Well, that's not true. On 2 days, and I'll be releasing shorts of our
Yeah.
foodage, but, 2 days, um, 1 day at lunch, I had 4 burgers with Swiss cheese, um, and then for dinner, I always had beef, and it was usually a minimum of 4 12-ounce steaks, whether it was prime rib, beef tenderloin, or, New York strips, and I get everything medium rare, and they cook everything absolutely perfect, and it comes out on your plate at the table. It comes out hot, but not so hot that it ever burns you, and I have no idea how to do that. It is like space age technology. I haven't been able to figure out how they do that, and if I could I don't know if these steaks are sous vide and
Yeah.
then they char them because 'cause they're charred.
That's what
Um,
James said they
they are
do.
cooked so
Yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah, so everybody for dinner had steaks to fullness, like whatever they wanted, steak, however many steaks they wanted until we were full. They usually serve the steaks with sour cream and butter, so that was really good. And like I had a couple veggies, like well, I didn't have veggie. I just had, I shouldn't say a couple of veggies. I had a little bit of broccoli because pretty often they serve the steaks with broccoli and carrots. Um, Little Tex loved the carrots. He enjoyed the
Yes.
carrots,
Yep.
and so he ate all the carrots off of our plate every night. And then I enjoyed a few pieces of the broccoli, and I'm sure they were probably cooked in butter or oil. I'm not exactly sure, but they tasted good. I can't eat broccoli all the time. Broccoli um actually inhibits your uptake of iodine. Any of those cruciferous vegetables will inhibit your uptake of iodine. So even though I guess maybe some of that is keto because it's low carb, it's not really ideal for me. Even though I do love broccoli, I could easily eat keto and it would not be a problem. Um, but so I had some broccoli, I had steak every single night. I had steak or burgers every single afternoon. One day, me and the little ones went to the formal lunch and they had quesadillas. And so I just asked them to give me all of the ingredients in the quesadillas minus the quesadilla. I just didn't want the wrap. And he was like, "You don't want the wrap?" I'm like, "No, just all of the ingredients." And it was so good. So that one did have like some peppers and onions in it. It was really, really good, like fajita meat, basically. But they had all the, like they had some salsa and some sour cream and stuff. So that was really good that day. My little ones had ice cream usually once or twice a day. I'm sure it's not perfect ice cream, but that was concession that we made. And then everybody had a dessert, except for me. I had dessert twice during the cruise and one scoop of ice cream I had. But the rest of the nights, I just had packed my keto IQ bars that worked really, really well last year. And I use them like when we were traveling and going away for the wedding and stuff like that. I just get a box of them. They're kind of pricey, so I don't have them all the time. Plus, if I buy them all the time, I will eat them. So I don't have them anymore in the house. But if we're traveling, going away, doing something special, I shove a box in our luggage and I just keep it. So I had one of them with a cup of coffee pretty much every evening. And that was great. That worked out really great. It's pretty clean ingredients and it's super low sugar, super low carb. But I did have one dessert that I do remember.
Oh, I
Um,
remember all of them.
I had 2 desserts. I had a piece of cheesecake. That was whatever, it tasted like cheesecake. But the second one I had, was this chocolate, cappuccino. It was like fudge, basically. It was like chocolate fudge warm in a bowl, and I had it with a scoop of ice cream, and it was so good, and it was not over sweet at all.
Yeah, they always had, like, low sugar
Options.
options,
Yeah.
which were really neat, and I I knew I'd already planned. I was like, "I'm going." The desserts are very small because it's kind of like, hoity-toity, so everything's always really small, and I'm like, "I'm gonna eat 1 dessert a night, and
Mhm.
I'll eat it the first night, and if it, like, throws me out of whack, I can totally not eat them." Good.
Yeah.
The first time, the bed was terrible. Like,
Yeah.
the bed horrible, which is interesting because usually the beds are really firm and nice. The bed was terrible.
The bed was terrible.
The bed was
I
terrible.
slept on the floor. I laid a blanket out on the floor and I slept
In
on
the
the floor.
survey, I meant to mention
It
that. I
was
don't know
really
why
bad.
the bed was so bad. It was
But
bad.
that being said, it didn't affect you,
No.
and you were able to work out on the cruise
Yep.
boat. You went to the gym several
Yeah, and one of
times.
my best workouts since being able to work out again.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
drove all the way down there, all the way
Yep.
back, and you drove all the way up to the North Country and
And all the way
back
back twice.
twice before we went on vacation. So I just see huge improvements by leaps and bounds. Now, your inflammation did spring up, but I don't know if that was from the bed, the eggs, because eggs do give you inflammation. We've established that in the last year and a half, but you just wanted them. And
Yeah, I wanted the protein.
yeah, and
I probably maybe I shouldn't have done the eggs. But, I mean, overall, I
but
felt really good.
yeah, it was just your shoulders were getting kind
Yeah,
of.
man, that bed was
The bed
bad.
was really bad because I can sleep anywhere, y'all, and I did. I slept on the floor the
That's
last
so
4 nights
weird,
because
and I
it
meant
was
to
so
say
bad.
something in the survey to
Yeah.
say, "Hey, what are you guys doing with the
But I
beds?"
think your inflammation was either from the desserts that obviously have sugar
Obviously,
in
that
them,
could have.
or the eggs, or both,
Mhm,
or the bed. It
right.
could have been any of the
But
3.
overall, I felt I all things being equal, I slept pretty well.
You did great.
I felt great.
Yeah.
I had great work. It's very strange, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
it's,
it was a trade-off, and even if it was from the eggs and the sugar, you would have still dealt with a little bit of achy shoulders just to
yeah,
enjoy yourself
sure.
for the week.
Yeah, and I think the other achy shoulder part is I had this incredible workout. I worked out for, like, I don't know, an hour and a half, and it was really great, and I hit everything really hard, so a lot of it could have been from that too. I mean,
Oh,
especially considering
yeah,
I haven't
and
done
you
that in.
played pickleball for a couple hours every day,
Yes.
which has been a thing.
Me and the boys played pickleball. That was great, yeah.
Yeah, and you've been playing pickleball for a couple hours almost every single day since September.
Yes. Yeah, not
That's
in the
kind of
past
your new
couple of
thing.
weeks, but yeah, but
Yeah.
during the cruise, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying before that too,
Yeah, sure.
we have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
local place and
Yep.
you've been playing. That's been really, really great. I just seen huge improvements in between last year and this year. And
Man, yeah, unreal. I
yeah,
can't, we're carnivore fans, and I got our waiter trained. So, like, by the 3rd night, he just put, like, 4 steaks on the plate.
yeah,
I said, "Look, man,
the
I don't need the
sides. Yeah,
potato or the french
yeah.
fries or the spinach or the asparagus. I don't need any of that stuff, dude. You just stack them jokers on one plate. I'm gonna save y'all from washing dishes
Yeah,
and from feeding the fishes and all that stuff, man.
yeah.
Just stack me 4 steaks and we'll ride out."
Brian Hayden wants to know when we're having a grandbaby coming. I do not know. These kids only saw each other in person twice before their wedding.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. That will have to be
In God's timing.
in the Lord's timing. Yeah, so we'll just however that happens, whenever that comes. They both would like to have children,
Yeah.
someday. That would be wonderful. That's their heart's desire is towards having a family and having children, but we'll just have to wait on the Lord for all of that. So we'll just see how that all comes, Brian. But we would be excited when we enter into the grand life.
Yeah, that'll go from surreal to super surreal.
Yeah, well, I'm ready for the grand life. Bring it on, but takes time. It takes time. So we'll see how that goes.
And I used to feel like a grandfather a couple years ago. So I think psychologically, I'm starting to feel a little better now, though. But
Yeah, so that was great. So yeah, and the kids, our little kids, like I said, they had ice cream. They had steaks. Um, we didn't let them have the potatoes because I just didn't want to just carb for the sake of carbing. But we didn't let them have the potatoes. But if they wanted like the broccoli and the carrots and things like that, they had lots of shrimp. They had crab cake. They had lots of shrimp.
lobster.
They had lobster. They had a seafood cake one night that was amazing. The crab cake was amazing. We had lots of steak. There was chicken.
Salmon.
They had chicken. They had
the
salmon.
lamb was unbelievable.
Yeah, they had
The
lamb.
lamb was great.
So they had lots of different things. And then they had one dessert every night and ice cream, sometimes 2 scoops of ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one day we let them get chocolate chip cookies because there was these really amazing chocolate chip cookies, according to James.
Didn't eat
They
them.
were the best. I did not
I
taste them
know.
either, but
Best ever on
said
planet
he
Earth.
wanted to go down there and bring his suitcase, and he wanted them to just stack the chocolate chip cookies into his suitcase, and he said, I just want to eat one every day. I want them to give me like 360 chocolate chip cookies, and I just want to eat one every day until I get back on the boat again. So evidently James can bake and cook, y'all, so they must have been really good.
Greatest ever. Wanted to know what do we drink when we're traveling, and I usually just drink electrolytes and water, but I have a new coffee hack where I take cold brew.
Oh, yeah.
And I add electrolytes to it, and I now have a problem. It is like this super
So what? Okay,
duper.
So you make your coffee the night before.
Yep.
And then you
Make a cold brew, and then
I do a hot brew.
Or yeah, you can do a hot brew, and I do a hot brew if that's what I'm stuck with. I'll take the cold coffee in the pot from the night before.
Okay.
And you take a scoop of electrolytes and you put it in there, whether it's
what flavor?
Doesn't matter.
What? Okay.
It could black cherry's great. Peach mango. It will taste like your most favorite flavored tea, except it's coffee.
Huh.
And super hack.
Super
You're
hack.
welcome. You're welcome.
There you go.
I totally stopped drinking coffee, didn't need it. Sleeping better. It's not like but I am a creature of habit, and I'm a control freak. So what I want to do is I want to do everything in the morning. Okay, y'all. And I don't have to go into details. I have a massive uh I have
System?
a massive not affinity. I'm looking for the opposite word. I have a massive aversion
Okay.
to public restrooms.
Okay.
I don't even like
Wow. This is
number one.
very personal.
I don't like to touch a bathroom door handle
TMI.
outside or
Way
inside.
TMI,
Right.
TD.
So I don't use public restrooms.
Wow.
I don't like using the very clean private restroom at my work. I am not. Okay. So all that being said,
You started drinking coffee.
I want all functions to function prior to leaving my home, because my home is my happy place and I have everything where I want it and where it should be, and everything
They did not ask for
in
this.
life is. So that being said, when I removed the coffee from my diet, it removed this part of my morning that would complete the circle of life.
Got it.
And
Okay.
once that got taken from me,
Wow.
I was like, hey, I gotta. So once I figured out like this coffee electrolyte hat,
Say coffee again for
coffee. Who spiked your coffee? That's a that's a that's a grade
Okay.
school joke. We
Wow.
had a science teacher. Her
Chronicles.
name was Verdi Kunkel. She's pet.
Okay.
May
Okay.
she rest in peace, Verdi.
Okay.
She wore a muumuu, and she would spike her
Stop.
coffee
Okay.
with some type of liqueur.
Okay. Public
And
school
who
memories.
spiked your coffee?
Public
But
school
anyway,
memories.
there you go.
That is true. I can attest to that. Science teacher, she did wear a muumuu every
Every
day,
day.
and she did have a very large sippy cup. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
What are the new trendy sippy cups
She,
that
yeah, Stanley.
all the cool women have?
She would be drinking a
I
Stanley,
think
I
she
promise you.
had like the
A
original.
48-ounce
I think
Stanley.
she had like a camping one with a.
Yes, I think she did.
It was
And
huge.
it was like butane. It was high octane.
And yeah, so public school memories, the good
Yes.
old days.
The public government school
was
system.
like-
Verdi Kunkel was the creme de la
Okay,
creme.
okay, somebody might be related to her. You shouldn't keep saying her
I
name. But
apologize.
anyway,
I shouldn't. I didn't mean to dox
I think that was
Verdi.
like 6th grade or 7th grade.
Yeah, 7th, 8th, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, now you have all the information of why TD likes flavored coffee.
Yeah,
So that was a new Old Man Chronicles. That's for all of our.
And now everything is right with the world again.
Good. Well, Blue Diamond probably appreciated.
I
the
know
tip.
Blue Diamond
pro
appreciated the tip. And I know look,
Pro tip.
I would think, and I don't even know what made me even want to attempt to do this. And I did it, and I'm like, that has to taste terrible. And it tastes glorious.
Wow.
Just saying, I don't know.
Okay. And our electrolytes that we've been
I
using.
dare you to try it.
What is it? What's the brand?
Zeal
electrolytes, for those of you inquiring minds who want to know. It's cheaper than Elements, and it comes in a big can, and it has all the flavors, and it has lots of extra vitamins in it too. So it's not just your potassium and magnesium and salt. It's also like there's a bunch of other vitamins in it. So our kids do drink it too, and so we did pack them for our family, and I made sure Matt had some for his suitcase for him. They have some in the Love Shack out there, and yeah, the electrolytes are the way to go.
Yeah.
And we had coffee. I drink coffee. I drink at least a cup or two in the morning or sometime throughout the day, and then I enjoyed a cup of coffee as my dessert. It's not sweetened or anything like that, but just, or, you could have a cup of decaf. I know Elizabeth Bright is big on decaf. I mean, if it's going to bother you and keep you up.
Decaf's for women and children. There's no reason to drink coffee if it's not going to transfer caffeine.
Yeah, well,
Just my opinion.
sometimes it's just the habit of it. But I like that, like I said, with my keto bars. I did those keto IQ bars.
Bill, I don't do the eggs anymore. I do cold brew with the electrolytes.
Because the eggs were giving you inflammation, and you tried it with yolks.
And we talked about Zeal, because Bill just mentioned it. The Element has the flavors for the coffee. Zeal has a chocolate flavor that I want to try.
Are you sure?
I thought you said that.
I didn't say that.
I know we talked about getting the chocolate flavored electrolytes. I don't know.
I know Element has.
I know Element. Yep. Yeah. I
but
do know
wasn't there the thing with Element? I don't know, like the sugar thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's probably something with all of them. Yeah, there was in Element. There is this hidden sugar. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Is there a
hidden sugar in ours?
Not that I'm. Oh, maltodextrin. Yeah. I think there's 300 milligrams. Here's what I know about the Zeal.
I don't know.
I know that it doesn't affect my blood sugar. I know it does not spike or influence my blood sugar. So, and it's sweetened with stevia, and it has been working great for me. So,
yeah, we've been using it pretty much since the beginning. We did the Relight for a couple months, but even the Relight, you can buy that in the cans, but it still gets expensive when it's a family of 8. So, and we're not drinking it all day long. I mean, we're just drinking it once a day.
And we tried the Element, and the Element to me was just like way too sweet. because I didn't want anything that was. I don't like
The
things that are
element's
real sweet,
expensive
and
though
it's
too.
expensive. But
Yeah.
to me, it was just way too sweet.
Yeah. But the Zeal is good, and it has a lot of vitamins in it, so you can check that out. Not paid promotion there. So, yeah, we packed
Completely
that.
not paid.
Yeah, it was
Barely
easy. I
ever
don't
paid.
know. I mean, it was just picking and choosing. Oh, the kids did have a fruit plate or 2, like, every morning. Our little kids loved the fresh fruit, and so, um, they enjoyed their fruit plate, so that was really cool, but they have some fruit at home.
Yeah.
They have blueberries and strawberries. I always have them available for them, and now they have, like, they've been doing, like, carnivore smoothies, so they'll do, like, strawberries and, like, some half and half or heavy cream.
Someone mentioned that maltodextrin doesn't spike your blood sugar either, so
Oh,
that's cool. Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
didn't. The only thing I didn't care about the relay is to me it just tasted.
A little too
Yeah,
sweet.
just
You could
zeal.
just use
Yeah,
less. But it's a really good, there's a lot of vitamins, a lot of B vitamins, there's a lot of stuff in it. So, we like it for us and the
yeah.
kids, and it works price-wise because that stuff adds up. Um, so and like I said, we don't let them drink it all day long. They get 1,
Yeah.
and that's it
Yeah, I'm the only one that
because
drinks it all day long.
no, you don't.
Well,
Stop. What are you talking about?
sometimes.
What?
Well, because when I fast
Oh, good grief.
and I'm doing like a 72 hour, when I
Confessions.
get into that third day,
Carnivore confessions.
if I start to feel hungry, what I do is the cold brew and the electrolytes, and it's immediately gone. Like I am not hungry.
Yeah, the electrolytes do help you get through a
Big
fast.
time.
Yeah,
Big time.
super do, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Zeal, yeah, it's on Amazon. I don't know where else you can find it at, but it comes in, like, a million not a million, maybe, like, 8
A
different
million's a
flavors.
lot.
A million's a lot. Maybe 8 different flavors. We've tried the peach mango, the blue
The
raspberry,
black
the
cherry.
black
Oh,
cherry, strawberry
in a light
kiwi.
roast.
Okay,
In the
he's got
southern
a problem.
brew light
He's
roast.
got a problem. Y'all, when you have such a limited diet, it's so funny. Oh, wait, I gotta tell you something. Okay. Everybody wants to know, right? Because it's getting into the holiday season and y'all are having people over and family over. Some of you, right? We don't celebrate Christmas, but
Correct.
not trying to be a Grinch or anything.
Correct.
But we did celebrate Thanksgiving. And here you go. Okay. If you want a little cheat hack thing, eat off plan, but not like jump off the deep end. Here's something that we did when we had our Thanksgiving meal up in the great Midwest,
Which was incredible.
northern Midwest.
Which
Yeah.
was so abundant
Okay.
with
Yeah.
meat.
Well, go ahead. Tell them what our meal was. What was our Thanksgiving meal
Oh,
that we celebrate with our new in
it was
loves?
prime rib, and it
It,
was cooked to perfection,
so they had prime rib
and scallops
and they had scallops.
in butter
It was really
in
great.
cast iron.
Yeah, because
And then
they've been carnivore longer than us.
yes, and then I cut the prime rib
You're so
and warmed it up in the scallop
yeah.
butter,
But
and it
if you wanted
was.
to, you could do like a turkey breast too, or get a little ham.
I'm not a turkey guy.
You could have a little smorgasbord of meat. How fun is that for
Smorgasbord.
like even a New Year's meal? Start a new family tradition. Have a little New Year's meal. You could do some seafood. You could get a little ham. You could do a little turkey breast. And yeah, brisket, whatever. Right? It was really fun. It was great. They did prime rib. They knew how to cook it, and they
Oh
did it
my.
really, really well,
Oh
and
my.
scallops. It was fancy
Oh my.
Thanksgiving. But for dessert, I made a keto pumpkin pie and I bought here's the thing, y'all. This is confessions. So
I didn't eat any.
so I bought a forehand. I bought bags of walnuts
Keto
and I
confession.
bought bags of pecans so that I could
Pecans.
make my own pie crusts out of pecans or walnuts, whichever kind.
Pecans.
Well, so I wouldn't have to buy the store pre-made keto pie shells, right? That are pecans
You
or
in
walnuts.
Texas, lady.
So anyway,
Pecans.
anywho, my children, because walnuts and pecans
Pecans.
and me, because walnuts and pecans pecans have
Thank you.
carbohydrates. I ate them like I had a problem. Like I ate them like they like ravenously ate them. So that I do not moderate very well, obviously. So, and neither do a couple of my children. So when I went to pack for our Thanksgiving meal and pack our dessert ingredients to take up there, all of the walnuts and all of the pecans were gone with the wind. And I had to just go ahead and get the pre-made little pie shells from the store. I don't know the brand that makes them. They're not perfect. I think they might
They
have
are far from perfect.
some kind of vegetable oil or
Some
something
kind
in
of
them, but
everything in them.
not everything. But they do have
A
like
lot.
no, but they do have like an oil in them.
40 ingredients.
Anyhow, it's like they have walnut pie crust and then they have a
Pecans.
good grief, pecan pie crust. And so I took my pumpkin.
I almost fell on my chair.
He's going to buy me a Charlie Brown.
My
Good
wifey is
grief.
tired.
I stayed up all night last night with a child who was coughing. So, anyway, what am I saying? I made a pumpkin pie. That's what I'm trying to say, y'all. A pumpkin pie. Is pumpkin keto? Probably
Apple
not.
peaches pumpkin pie.
You could do squash. It's probably squash anyway,
Seminole
if it's
squash.
canned pumpkin. And I did allulose for my sweetener, heavy cream, a little bit of pumpkin pie spice, and what else? Oh, you could do the brown sugar swerve, or if you don't have brown sugar, keto swerve or whatever, you can just take a little molasses and put it in your sweetener of choice. And then you, ta-da, have brown sugar keto sweetener and eggs. I mean, it's just pumpkin pie. It's basically keto anyway. And so I did that. And here it is. I got the Lily's chocolate chips. Now, there's another couple other brands that make zero sugar chocolate chip, but they're kind of pricey. So for the honeymooners, I made for their honeymooning nights, I made them up a bunch of little treats like snacks to munch on. So I did chocolate covered strawberries. Strawberries are not keto. And I did white chocolate with the Lily's chocolate chips, and I did dark chocolate. And then I did nuts. I had pecans and I had walnuts. And so this is my easy peasy end of the year celebration.
Pecans.
Easy, easy. And this is going to be a family tradition because this worked out so, so well. So you melt your chocolate chips, right? And you could even, if you wanted to, this is what I did with the dark chocolate. I cut it half and half. I did half of the Lily's dark chocolate and I did half of the Giordelli dark chocolate, like the semi-sweet or whatever. Like
the dark cacao.
Yeah, if it's like 70% cacao or whatever, 80%
yep.
cacao. Half and half, right? Because that helps with the price when you're feeding 8 people. And so you just melt your chocolate, put all of your walnuts and pecans.
Pecan. Somebody said pecan. I knew we'd get
over
a pecan snob.
Parchment paper on a cookie sheet and I'm sorry, don't do that. Put them in a bowl, mix them all together, then put them on a cookie sheet.
The burning up cookie show.
Your nuts dry overnight.
Great.
And then
this is a family show, lady.
We'll have the most awesome keto-ish, low sugar-ish, better than jumping off the wagon into the deep end. You'll have a good treat. And it's so easy. You just melt the chocolate, mix it in a bowl with the nuts, let them dry, and it's so good. So anyway, everybody enjoyed them. I made a ton. I made the white chocolate. Some people like the white chocolate.
I know.
I'm
not a fan.
Over the pecans and walnuts. And then I did the dark chocolate, and it was really, really good. And we ate them like all the way home. They were gone. None of that went to waste. And the pumpkin pie, it was really good. Yeah. So, and I got a couple other desserts that I'm making too that are keto-ish for fellowship meal coming up this weekend. And whipped cream, y'all, you can just do heavy whipping cream and add a little drizzle of honey or a little bit of your sweetener of choice. You know, I like allulose, better than the erythritol and even better than the monk fruit. I just like that better.
Don't get sucked into the keto hole.
No, but I'm just saying
Yeah,
heavy
I'm just
whipping
saying.
cream. Boy, just some heavy whipping cream in your coffee.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
That would
I
be
think I would
amazing.
be very cool with a whipping cream whipped up with no type of sweetener in it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think it's
me
awesome.
too.
Yeah,
It's good enough. Yeah, I
yeah.
like it just how it is. Yeah. So that's great over dessert. Yeah. So anyway,
Well, we've been rambling for an hour.
ish. Keto
My wife is
ish.
the king of ish. Well, I'm sorry, the queen of ish. I apologize.
I did way better than you, sir. So there you
How
go.
do you mean?
In 8 days on a boat,
Oh,
I
oh.
said no to
Yeah, you
desserts.
did great.
Yeah,
I'm very proud of you.
you did great too.
I think so. I
Your shoulders now that we're home.
spectacular.
So you just been right and
Yeah.
narrow and
Yeah, and,
everything's
I got my
fine.
pull-up bar I can hang, which I was doing. I wasn't doing it
Curious, yeah, if
to
it
the
was the
yeah.
eggs.
Yeah, I wasn't doing it to I wasn't hanging on the boat to the same extent that I do at home, and I also have a pull-up bar at work, so I hang
This is turning into the old people show.
multiple times a day,
This
and,
is definitely turning into like the old people show.
when I get in and out of my walker, I hang so that
Oh
my
my
joints function
soul.
properly.
You all didn't really you didn't sign up for this. This is all too much for them.
But this is just like the good old days.
Hey, if the only thing if it gives you some hope, guys, if you're all like, "You
If
know
we can't
what?
give you hope, y'all are
If
hopeless.
those 2 can figure it out
Those 2
somehow and
weird
do it,
goofballs.
then surely we can do it." Yeah.
Yeah, but
So,
no, it was
anyway,
great. There's lots of great things happening. We're gonna keep trying to crank out the content
yeah,
and work through all
yeah,
the life stuff, and, we get lots of, uh, messages about, "We want the channel to be this way, it used to be this way," and all that stuff, but we're rolling with it, y'all. Life,
yeah,
like, kids get older, people are working,
mhm,
there's schedules, there's lots of stuff,
yeah,
and we're rolling with it. And we love the interaction, we love the community, we love our people, we love our customers.
mhm,
We love that we can provide like a very high quality food for our local peoples. And
yeah,
we might even start dabbling, because see, now we have a new office administrator,
yes.
and we very well might dabble with shipping. Great friends of ours
Oh,
in
yeah,
South Texas ship.
yeah.
And now that we have an office administrator,
Talking about our new
yeah,
daughter in love.
yeah,
She does like to do the office. So today was like our second day home. I don't know if you want to call it normal yet, but like already or have at it. Like you bought into the family business. So just whatever you want to do in here, if you want to answer emails, whatever you want. So she's finding her pace. She's figuring out where she fits into this crazy puzzle and crazy family that she married into. And we're just figuring it out, and Matt's just figuring out he loves to video. He loves to tell stories. He loves the whole storyline. He loves bringing y'all along for everything that he's doing. So, but I appreciate y'all being patient with him and just giving him some grace too, because trying to run a business full time, build a house, get married, and still, trying to be a good son and
yeah,
just, it's a lot to
he's a
juggle.
gooder.
So, yeah,
He's a gooder.
don't worry, we're not going anywhere. Check in on us, and we'll be trickling out the content here and there as we can.
Yeah, and for the
And
podcast, I'm gonna probably subscribe to a new streaming service.
okay,
And so I'll try to get that stuff straightened out. It's just, with trying to work and do all the stuff that we do here, and if stuff isn't working right,
It
an
makes it
extra
hard.
30
Yeah.
minutes to 60 minutes, just it destroys. I mean, like you're like, hey, let's do this. And we're like, yeah. And then you sit down and nothing's
Yeah.
working. And then you're like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
that ain't going to happen
And you
today.
just spent a lot of time revamping the website.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you haven't been over there to the website, you can go check that out. We're still working on it and getting it all tip top. It's been great, y'all. And Matt still is very much involved in doing everything, all of the editing and videoing and all of that. So they're just trying to figure out, how much and what that looks like and how much they want to be, what they want to put out there and all of that kind of stuff. So, but I know he still wants to do the podcast with you. He
Yes,
loves.
I really, that was always very enjoyable, and it was like our time to kind of like talk in a way, just because we're both so busy,
Mhm.
and especially when you're talking about current events and you get to hear like a real time. We would never like talk about what we were going to talk
Right,
about,
right.
so like just getting a real time reaction, it was always it was interesting. It was really cool. I miss it. I miss that a little bit. But hey, life changes, stuff happens, and people grow up and schedules change, and so we'll
Yeah.
fumble through it and
And
figure it
right
out.
now, I know he wants to do that. I know he wants to do
Yeah.
topical stuff with you, but right now he's trying to
When?
build a relationship with his wife
Yes.
and spend some time with
Yeah.
her after he's been working all day. So it wouldn't be right to her to,
Yeah, yeah.
work all day and then be like, I'm going to go do a 2-hour podcast with dad now. Figure it out. That's not nice when you're newly married. So when you're oldly married, you're like, oh, good. He's gone for a couple hours doing
Shame
a
on you. Shame on
podcast.
you.
Oh, good. He's doing his 3-hour morning routine.
Oh, good. He's
Um,
not
oh,
harassing me.
good.
Oh, he's good. He's not
I can
harassing
sip
me.
my coffee very slowly and enjoy my time.
Look, my 3-hour routine ends
Uh,
before
it's like,
anyone is even
oh,
awake.
good. He's going to go play pickleball for 2 hours. This is amazing.
You,
What else
you,
do you want to?
lady.
You should do another hobby. Is there any other hobbies you could pick up?
The pickleball thing is so awesome because I used to be super into sports and all that stuff, and but it's so neat that me and the boys can go play, and it's great exercise, and we get
Mhm.
to hang out.
Yeah.
It's been really cool.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun,
Yeah. It's really, really good.
and yeah,
Yeah.
it's been good. So
Yeah.
well, all right, y'all. Well, I hope y'all. Did you say that out loud? Thanks for hanging out, y'all. Great seeing you, Blue Diamond. Hope to see you IRL soon. Um, greatest ever. Who else is on here?
A lot of
Trey
people.
Lynn
Black Bear,
and Black Bear.
Caitlin's Family
And I saw Truth
Farmstead.
Seekers were on. Truth Seekers, if you're still on, we love and appreciate y'all.
Yes.
And let's see, Alice and Danielle's Duckhead Homestead. Oh, we got some. Hey, John Hicks is on. Good to see you, John.
Hey.
I was reading through the comments, but Pamela Leonard, great having y'all on. We may or may not try to do another live stream. If we can make it happen, we will do it. And we love and appreciate y'all. And remember, yeah, if you're interested or looking for beef, check out TheTexasBoys.com.
Yes.
And
We have a cow that needs to go into somebody's freezer next week.